Good day and welcome back to another DBZ Dokkan battle video. In this video we're going to be taking a look at the AGL Super Saiyan Gohan free-to-play unit, and we're going to see just how good he is in DBZ Dokkan battle at 100%. Now I was waiting a little bit, wanted to see if this guy would get a Extreme Z Awakening, but it doesn't seem like it's coming just yet, which I think is fine. Personally, I'm against the notion of having to Extreme Z Awaken every unit, or at least free-to-play unit, as soon as they release. So yeah, overall I'm pretty fine with that. In terms of his leader skill, he's a Bosch and Disciple lead of 50%. He greatly raises attack for one turn, causes supreme damage to the enemy, and lowers their attack and defense. He has attack and defense of 158%. And launches an additional attack that has a high chance of becoming a super attack once only. And all attacks become critical hits for one turn from the start of turn. So he gets a little bit of a one turn boost, kind of like a immediate power boost to do some pretty good damage. He gains an additional attack and defense at 20% with each attack performed, plus an additional attack and defense at 20% with each super attack performed. His chance of performing a critical hit gets 10%, starting from the character's next attacking turn, after he performs the third super attack in battle. So this guy can perform 3 super attacks in one turn. Generally I like to go a little bit of a split on him, considering the fact that he is going to get 10% crit, but also, you know, the fact that we're going to get some pretty good kind of bonuses with him as well by building up our additionals. So I think overall I like a little bit of a split with him. Personally speaking, I think that's probably the best way to go about it. So yeah, for me, he looks really solid, so I'm interested to see how good he is. Obviously, we're going to run him on a Goku's family. You can run him on the Superheroes team for a full 200% lead. But you don't get the nicest pairing partners on the Superheroes team. He's better as a floater on that team, but it is definitely possible to run him on that team as well. Unfortunately, he doesn't link super fantastically with the new LR Gohan, so that is probably something that's a little bit to his detriment, at least a tiny bit. But yeah, overall, he does look pretty good, at least to me. I think he looks really solid, so that's at least super duper exciting. And yeah, overall I think he's a pretty decent looking unit. You can see here we're getting those guaranteed crits, which is really nice, where you've got one super attack off already, an additional attack off already, and that's a good start. Ideally you want at least 2 super attacks in the first turn. It really helps him to build up super duper quickly. But yeah, generally speaking, he does tend to, you know, build up relatively quickly. So I mean, to me, he feels pretty good, at least on the surface level. So yeah, from that aspect, I think he does look quite reliable. I 100% think he's a pretty good looking free-to-play unit, actually, once he gets going. Not like he's super top tier, but he's actually probably better than most free-to-play units we've got this year. I mean, he can reach 300k defense, he can reach multiple 3 million, you know, attacks. He looks pretty good, at least to me. So I like him. Here we've got a different situation, quite a lot of support on this rotation, 200k defense. He still has, I believe, 2 super attacks to stack and 1 more attack to stack, so still quite a sizable amount of attack and defense left off the table. We've got a lot of support on this rotation though. I mean, 80% pretty much for his defense, which is very high. But you can see here that he does, you know, get quite quick up the chain. Already up to 200k, already up to a 2 million attack stat. He's going to fire that one off, then he's going to increase his power even more. Now we're still 1 stack out, I think, on the super attack side, but we have finished the attack buff. So again, he will grow quite substantially next turn, and he's going to look a lot better. So I think personally he's pretty good. I think the animation also for a free-to-play unit is really solid. Yeah, I think, like, overall his animations are really good for a free-to-play unit. especially literally just a base free-to-play unit. It's not like he's, you know, inherently a like free-to-play LR or something. But yeah, he looks really solid, at least to me. So I would say he's a pretty good unit, at least on the surface level, you know. So yeah, overall I would say really good unit, and yeah, it looks good to me, honestly speaking. I know some people probably would have liked him to be a little bit better. I do think he could have maybe greatly raised defense, or at least raised defense on his super. I think that would have made him pretty much red zone ready as a unit. So I think that would have really helped him out, and just pushed him that little bit extra. But they're probably saving some stuff for his EZA. Here we've got him in a good situation. I think he's got almost every link active here, and he is pretty close at this point to being fully built up. So looking good. We're going to take a look at that attack stat that he can develop. By now he has gained his 10% crit, which is very important. You can see there, very big attack stat, very good crits, attack lowering, defense lowering, pretty good stuff, honestly speaking. Super duper solid, super reliable, and I'm pretty impressed with his performance. You know, I think, you know, at least from my perspective, I think he's got a lot in the tank, and I think he's very reliable overall. So for me, at least, super duper happy with his performance. Obviously, just going to depend on whether you need him or not, but I think he'll fit on a lot of teams as just a floating damage dealer, as a solid unit, maybe a decent second slot unit. There's a lot of usability for him, so I'd love to see how far we can take him. But yeah, overall he does look pretty good. Yeah, again, we do have quite a lot of support on the rotation. You can see that defense is really quite high now, 261,000, which is pretty solid. I do believe he is currently fully built up, 3.2 million, pretty good. 5 links active, really solid, and yeah, looking decent as a free-to-play. Is there a benefit to link leveling him? A little bit. He does gain some defense, some attack, some you know, key, etc. So there is some benefit to link leveling him for sure, but it's just going to depend, you know, on basically whether you value how good a free-to-play unit can get. He can get pretty good if you just kind of farm like or link level him, you know, relatively substantially. He is pretty good. The big thing is, like, what's the value you're gonna gain out of that, if you know what I mean. But here we can see defense is looking really good. This is probably his best situation defensively. Not so much attack wise, but definitely defensively. I think for a unit like Gohan, they did a very good job. I think he has usability on a lot of teams. I think he's at the required level to do most content, and you could even possibly slide him into a red zone stage. Yeah, not necessarily as a huge unit, but he could potentially hold his own. And I think in that respect, I do have to, you know, give them a lot of credit. I think Gohan's probably the best story event free-to-play unit that they've made in a while, at least for me. I think he looks really good. Like, I think he looks really solid. And you could actually link him with his base form SSR, and they could actually be pretty funky together. They both have Brainiacs, they both have All in the Family, they both have Saiyan lineage. They both have Prepared for Battle, so could be an interesting combo. Obviously, you know, his SSR is also pretty decent for an SSR, so you could be running one of the weirdest, coolest little free-to-play combos in the game, which could be a lot of fun, I think, at least. But hey, so yeah, obviously Gohan for me looks pretty decent. I at least quite like what he's bringing to the table, but at the end of the day, you know, he is a free-to-play character, so there is some limit to what's happening for him. But anyway, links wise, quite a decent link set. Like I said, lots of key links, lots of versatility in those key links. So prepared for battle, sharing the limit, Saiyan lineage, all decent key links, which is pretty good stuff. Then he's got all in the family, great defensive link. Brainiacs is a great link. Super Saiyan, super common, and Kamehameha, super common. So overall, he's got a pretty decent link set. Super Saiyan, all in the family, Saiyan lineage, Kamehameha, prepared for battle, and even shattering the limit with other free-to-play units you could pretty easily get. So all of those are pretty much easily accessible. It's just maybe Brainiacs that isn't so accessible. There are some units who have it, especially on the superheroes team. So like Piccolo, Piccolo Orange does have Brainiacs. I think Mystic Gohan has Brainiacs. So there's a couple of units that do have the ability, and you could maybe get it active on the team, but it's not like a super, I wouldn't say it's super necessary, at least for me. I don't think it's something you absolutely need. But yeah, Gohan looks really good. Super Saiyan, all in the family, super common, you can get those. And I think crucially, all in the family and one of his key links is probably as good as you want to go. All in the family is a great defensive link. Saiyan lineage gives him a bit of defense, and prepared for battle gives him a bit of attack and defense. Sharing the limit gives him a bit of attack and defense. So you got quite a few defensive links you could activate and link level and gain a bit more out of. And if you can get Brainiacs active somehow, I would say that's pretty much the biggest bonus you can get. Otherwise, Super Saiyan and Kamehameha are so common that it's really not that difficult to get them. So you shouldn't really have a huge issue. The real shame is that he doesn't link super well with the brand new free-to-play LR. Would have been cool to have him be like an option there. But yeah, that's it from me. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know your thoughts down below. See you in the next one. Bye.